absolute privileges of starting Sculpture by the Sea and working with the artists for 10 years that I've got to know all of these artists so well, and so many, if not the absolute vast majority of the sculptors in Australia, especially sculptors of note. It's like I've been allowed into their private world, and one which was so hidden 10 years ago and has really started to come out into the open across the country over the last 10 years.
And this visit to Japan, my first, is about paying our respects to the Japanese artists who've given so much to Sculpture by the Sea over the years. In addition, we're researching the Japanese sculpture parks as an important part of our planning to develop a permanent sculpture park for Sydney.
Mars is a symbol of the Earth. Earth is was the origin of everything. First mayor of Kobe City, planning Kobe Bridge. People don't believe to able to make the big bridge, 3 kilometers. But mayor said, without dream, we can't go ahead. And then people called this bridge Dream Bridge.
This one, 1 metre an hour. He moves it through, and his assistant, sometimes if he has a curving line, his assistant's adjusting the height of the platform on the way through. He says his assistant's got really good, and over that hour that he's doing the metre, he's just gently lowering the platform or raising the platform.
So he can get a curved line.
So he can get a curved line, yeah.
One part is polishing, and one part is rough cutting with wedge. One part is hand cutting. This bridge, it connects 3 islands: nature, human, and technology. So that's kind of meaning. This is a monument of the Dream Bridge.
Keizo, can you tell us how you select your stones and what makes a good stone or a bad stone?
Good stone sometimes was expensive. So this one is from Norway.
Shipped all the way from Norway?
Yeah, yeah.
You select this
in
Norway?
Yeah.
Go to quarrying?
Yeah.
Yep. Say, I want this stone?
Yeah. This one is marine pearl, but it was a beautiful stone. Now I'm thinking.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
You need to get to know your stone.
Yeah.
Now that China have exporting stones so cheaply relative to the Japanese market, it's actually destroyed the Japanese quarrying industry, and so it's very difficult to get Japanese stone like this anymore. It's because the manufacturers have gone out of business. So Keizo has gone around Japan, and he tries to find old Japanese granite and brings it back here for future works.
This is Keizo's work for Sculpture by the Sea Cottesloe in 2007. You can see already finished, which is great. So over the years, Keizo's been what we love to call the ambassador for Sculpture by the Sea to Japan. We're making that relationship now much more formal and asking Keizo to come up with 5 artists each year that we will invite to be in the Japanese section of Sculpture by the Sea. This is acknowledging the fantastic role that Japanese artists have had with Sculpture by the Sea each year for the last half a dozen. This year we've got a new artist, Haruyuki Uchida. He is an extraordinary artist. He works with magnetic fields, where the magnetic force between one part of the sculpture and the other is the dynamic aspect to that sculpture. We've just seen one in the Asago Sculpture Park, and it was very beautiful work, and looking forward to bringing that to Bondi.
For Haruyuki is this year's Transfield invited kinetic artist, and courtesy of Transfield we're able to provide him with support to cover his freight, airfare, accommodation and other costs. This is a pretty special thing for us, and it's great that we're getting this support from Transfield, because unfortunately we're not in a position to fund each of the artists to be in Sculpture by the Sea, and basically most of the artists are funding their entire participation themselves.
A gift from the earth.
10 years' time, we will start to have a permanent collection as good as yours. But while we're building that up, we are leasing sculptures. The sculptures that are leased, they are also for sale. So if we sell the sculpture, it's revenue for the sculpture park.
Oh, I see.
Revenue for the artist also.
To dedicate this much space and money and a gallery is just extraordinary.
At this time in Australia, many old defence sites, defence lands are given back to the people of Australia. Our company applies to make some of these lands into sculpture parks. This is a photograph of the land that we will start slowly, build up over time.
We're looking at all of these sculpture parks to take on board pluses and minuses as far as we see them of these sculpture parks as we prepare for developing the sculpture park on Middle Head.
The permanent sculpture park that we intend to build will be at Middle Head in Sydney Harbour, and we hope that we can build as many diverse environments as they have here at Hakone to accommodate a diversity of sculpture and as many different forms and approaches to sculpture as we can, which will really make it an exciting and interesting sculpture park.
So one of the things that's really impressive for the Japanese is the fact that Ron worked with Henry Moore in the late 60s when he was a young guy living in London.
63, 64, 65.
So in the early days of Sculpture by the Sea and what we were doing, Ron's advice was invaluable for someone like me who knew nothing about sculpture at the time. But now his international reputation and lifelong friendships are the things that are really providing major substance to us as we plan for the future and just how we might evolve Sculpture by the Sea and our other projects.
I think it's a fantastic opportunity, and I'm really pleased to be in the first lot. I think it's great for Australian sculpture, and it's not before time to have a special park. And in Sydney, great location.
The public really appreciates Japanese sculpture. Many big collectors are buying the works of Japanese artists in Australia. Well, the end of the trip, and we've been looked after magnificently. Some of the places we've stayed, some of the places we've visited, the mountains, the hospitality's been fantastic. We've learned a lot, we've seen a lot while we've been here, but most of all, what's happened for us with this trip is we've been able to really take our relations with the Japanese artists and with senior curators and senior figures in the Japanese arts world to another level. And that's something which will enable us to build on what we're doing and to engage more, I suppose, actively with the Japanese sculpture scene. So it's sayonara from me.